Koshbin is one of the most exciting entrepreneurs in the world today, with real estate holdings in excess of $250 million. Manny also has a world-class car collection that would make even the finest car connoisseurs envious.
I came from Iran at age 14. I was a skinny little boy, that escaped, that regime going to the war and all that stuff. And my dad and my mom and 3 siblings, they decided to leave Iran 2 weeks before my 14th birthday, because at age 14, they basically make you go to the army and you can't really leave the country. Plus, none of us spoke a word of English, so it was very difficult to come here and not be able to communicate. We only had $2,000, cash when we arrived to USA. My dad was promised a job by his friend that owned a gas station, and 2 nights at their house, we were forced to leave. So we ended up buying a 1972 Datsun station wagon, and that became our home for a couple of weeks until my dad was able to get a job. After a few weeks, raised enough money for his security deposit for a 1-bedroom apartment. I was basically carrying all the guilt because everyone's suffering because of me. That really was built my personality. 16, I was legally able to work, and I applied for a job at Kmart, and I was clerk 407. I was a clerk to clean the bathrooms, a stockroom, mop the floors, and I found this company that's selling multi-level marketing, door-to-door sales, WWI. So I called them. It said earn 500. At the time, I was earning $3.15 an hour, a little over $100 a week. So I'm like, wow, that's 5 times more than I'm making. So I quit Kmart. I went and worked for that company. And within 4 to 5 months, I was one of their top salespeople. And then one night, me and my dad are shopping at Price Club. Back then wasn't Costco, it was Price Club. And I did a quick math on the nuts and cashews and trail mix. And I'm like, wait, they're selling these for $3 a pound. This company is selling it to me for double. Why don't I just buy the nuts from Price Club and bag them and sell them myself? It's super depressing because that was, hard cash and hard-earned money, I made that money being discriminated, cussed at, but he hired a loan officer to do my SBA loan. And unfortunately, sadly, that guy turned out to be a con. So I lost all my 20 grand. That's just gonna keep eating you inside, and it's gonna limit your upside. Successful people, and that's a big secret to success as well. You're a product of your environment. So always, and he drove a convertible Porsche. And so what do you do? He goes, I own a mortgage company. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do you do? Loans and real estate? And I'm like, okay, cool. So I told him I work for one entire company, but he liked my, my attitude, my motivation, my energy. I realized how much money you can make in loans because I was processing them. I see how much checks, commissions you were getting on each loan. And then I tried to open my own mortgage company. I realized you need a broker. I met another guy through the circle that he was a broker, but he's the go-getter one, mostly. My process with my investment was always reinvest the money. It's like, buying a cow. You don't sell the cow, you sell the milk. And even when you sell the milk, you take part of the profit and invest it in a second cow. And only with that 30% of it, whatever it may be, you go buy, iPad, iPhone, whatever you have. So my mentality was always reinvest. Don't spend the principal, reinvest the cash flow, And that's how I've amassed all this real estate. And I told myself, I said, hey, I'm gonna buy a Bugatti when I can buy 10 of them cash. Why don't we, convert it to supermarket? Because all the Hispanics, they love to eat. And then it was, wow. I remember I used to work 7 days a week, 12, 13 hours a day. I used to close the register, take the money, and then go stop by 24-hour fitness. I wasn't even going home. I stopped by the gym, throw the money in the safe, and then go to the gym and work out one and then I'm gonna sell it. To me, the funny part is, to me, was the challenge because I really knew I could get out of it, So when somebody keeps doubting you, they say, oh, Paul, bankruptcy, you're crazy. How are you gonna compete with people like this? It's a big change. To me, that was like hey, don't doubt me, So sometimes, those negativity, this is a lot of money. This is the most money I've ever seen. And I want to invest in real estate. I put $200,000 in Orange County. So I started with 3 properties from the money I made in the stock market. So I went from people telling me file bankruptcy, now I own a shopping center and 2 homes. You know, it's my motto is never give up, because it's just not a possibility. You know, for me, I'd rather die, you know, than give up. I made my first million when I was 20. You know, selling junk from, you know, dumpsters in the swap meet. I didn't know I'm going to own all these cars on real estate. Yeah. I didn't even know I'm going to end up being a real estate investor, you know. Don't worry about, you know, 5-10 years from now. Worry about how can you improve today, you know, improve yourself mentally, physically, with people around you, and the bigger picture as you're climbing the mountain. And, you know, crush your fears. You know, whatever your fears are, as you face them and you overcome them. Of course, you know, anyone that does anything for the first time, the feeling you get afterwards, that's probably, you know, one of the key factors to improving yourself is facing your fears. You know, mansion with some palm trees in front of it and 2 Mercedes. Back then I didn't know what the Ferrari is or Lamborghini. Yeah. I knew Mercedes, right? Yeah. So I drew 2 convertible Mercedes with palm trees. If you really put the effort, your subconscious will do the rest.